Hey guys, welcome back to Evgeny's Habit YouTube channel, and in today's video I want to answer this very interesting question: how in the world did I manage to learn and master Spanish from zero to hero, from absolute beginner to an advanced speaker in a matter of just 3 months? About 3 years ago, after arriving in Chile, what methods, tactics, like strategies I used, materials, resources, everything I want to share with you in this video, and what helped me, and I hope this will be of value to you. I have actually written down 6 most important tips that we're going to talk about now, and actually the very first one is called the myth. Living in a foreign country will actually help you learn a new language that you desire to master, which is bullshit, is a myth, so let's not even talk about it. Okay, actually I'll need this one, but let's start with the tip number 1. So guys, first of all, what we're going to do is that we're going to destroy this very famous myth that is unfortunately alive in the heads of so many people all across the globe, and it's like living in a foreign country will actually help you learn a new language, will help you master it, and just the sole fact that you live in a foreign country where they speak your target language will help you. It won't. It's not true. And it's a myth, and we're going to destroy it now. Why? So, I know so many people, foreigners, whose native language is not Spanish, and who live here in Chile. And they've been living here for so many years, 5 years, 7, 10, and they barely can speak Spanish. They know some basic vocabulary, but they are absolutely no masters of grammar. They can't produce complex grammatical constructions. It's very hard for them to actually express their feelings, their thoughts, and so many years passed. So it's not automatic. The point is that if you actually don't work, if you don't put your attention to the places and to the aspects of your life where you should put it, nothing's gonna work. It's not like a magic wand. And actually, you know, if you didn't know, well, magic doesn't exist in our world. Well, what exists is work. If you work in special conditions, under certain circumstances, in the right way, in the correct form, if you do everything rightly and step by step, yes, there is a chance that you will succeed. But it doesn't happen automatically. So it's a great myth. Please forget all about it. Don't listen to yourself, and don't limit yourself by thinking that if you're not living at this moment in the country where they speak the language that you want to master, this thing makes you absolutely incapable of learning the language. No, you can master any language living in the country where you are now. Of course, there are some benefits, and we'll talk about this later, that will help you, of course, if you live in Chile, like I do now. And if you practice Spanish, yes, it will help you, of course. But you have to do something else, right? And if you live in the United States of America and you want to speak English, of course, if you work, if you do hard stuff, if you do what needs to be done, of course, it will be of benefit to you. But don't limit yourself by not taking action, just thinking that the fact that I am now not in the country where I want to be, well, this makes my studying any language useless. No, it doesn't. And now we're going to talk about tip number 2, which is very interesting thing. So the tip number 2 is the actual materials, resources that I used when I arrived here in Chile 3 years ago. It's PIMSLEUR, Michel Thomas, and News and Slow Spanish. First of all, these platforms, they are not paying me. My channel is not monetized. I don't have any sponsors, brands. I'm just promoting them freely and for free now, because I really think that's good stuff. PIMSLEUR, Michel Thomas, and News and Slow Spanish. I think I'll put links in the description that you would find, that you'll be able to find these platforms, these training programs. But basically speaking, they actually help you think like a native speaker. You start to understand language and how it's built from the very first lessons. And both PIMSLEUR and Michel Thomas methods are so cool in this way, because you really concentrate on the your ear, on the way what you hear, on listening and speaking, not writing and reading. Writing, reading is good stuff, but unfortunately in our schools we were told to believe that we should actually start write and read from the very first lesson, which is not helpful, because if you remember yourself, think of yourself, of your native language, how did you learn it? I guess you started listening first when you were a little baby, then you start speaking, then you start reading, and only then you start writing. It makes absolute no sense to try to learn this language in a different way, in a different direction, starting from writing, reading, and only then, well, actually people, the majority of us, never reach this stage of good listening, and to say nothing of the speaking part. As you know, probably that's the part that you most struggle with, because your brain has to create so many new neural cells connection to make sure even capable of producing new words, sentences, phrases, expressions in a foreign language that, well, if you don't do it correctly, nothing's gonna happen. So these resources are so cool. Check them out, and I'm sure they will be of great use and help to you. Now, let's move on to tip number 3. Tip number 3, practice every single day, at least 10 minutes. 30 minutes better, 1 hour even better. When I actually came here to Chile 3 years ago, I guess I started practicing Spanish at once, and I would practice something from 10 minutes every day to 7 hours sometimes. So usually it would be 1 hour, 2 hours, sometimes 30 minutes, sometimes 5 hours, and even 7 hours at its extremes, but I did it every single day. That's the secret sauce, that's it. If you practice, imagine yourself practicing every single day for 20 minutes. With PIMSLEUR, with Michel Thomas, actually PIMSLEUR's lessons, they 30 minutes every day, and you can't repeat them, you can't do more than one lesson. This is done strategically, that you would take the best benefit from the course. And systematic practice actually is how we develop ourselves in life. It's not like you sit one time for 9 hours, do some crazy shit, and it's gonna work. No. Systematic practice each and every single day. Make learning your language as part of your everyday routine, and you can imagine that in 3, 4, 5 months the results will be insane. They will blow your mind, like they did to me. In 3 months I spoke Spanish fluently. It's incredible. And yeah, do that and you'll achieve great results. Tip number 4, apply knowledge that you have acquired while learning your language in everyday life situations. That's cool. Now, if you live in a foreign country already, like I did, yeah. So I studied PIMSLEUR for 30 minutes, and then I went out from my house and I visited some cafe, restaurant, and I immediately started applying what I learned, phrases, expressions, everything. And it is so cool, you will remember it forever. It's almost no chance that you forget something, because you studied how to speak this or that thing, how to express yourself, how to express the wishes that you want to get to people, the message that you want to get to them, and you start applying this almost at once, without any delay. Just like you're now at home, practicing PIMSLEUR, Michel Thomas, using slow Spanish, and then you go out of the house and visit like anyone. You can start a random conversation with someone on the street and you start applying what you learn. This is actually one of the best tips of advice I could advise you. I'm sorry for tautology, but that's true. Applying theoretical knowledge in the real life practical situations is of incredible power, and it will like get you to the skies where you want to be. Surely. Okay, now let's move on to tip number 5. Tip number 5, watch movies, listen to the radio, read in the target language that you learn. I, for instance, every day would watch some Netflix show in Spanish with subtitles, and I advise you to do this thing. You watch, for example, we talk about Spanish. You watch this fragment that you like, 10 minutes, or maybe 5 minutes. Let's say 2 minutes. So 2-minute fragment from the show you like. First of all, you watch it in Spanish without any subtitles, or in Italian, the language that you want to master, without subtitles. So the way you try to understand what you actually know, what you actually can analyze, and what you actually can extract from this fragment, how much you know. This is like self-analysis. Then you watch the same fragment one more time in Italian, for example, and this time with subtitles in your native language. So in this way you'll be able to understand completely 100% what these guys are talking about in the show. The third time in a row you watch the same scene, the same 2-minute fragment one more time, but now you're watching with the subtitles corresponding to the language that you want to learn. So with the same foreign language subtitles. So if it's in Italian, you are right now like turning on the Italian subtitles. If you watch it in Spanish, you have Spanish subtitles. Now you can see actually how it's written, everything they pronounce, these characters in the show that you're watching. And the fourth time you watch this very same 2-minute fragment the same way you did the first time in the foreign language that you want to learn without any subtitles, and you'll be surprised. Now you can hear everything they're saying, but now you can also understand by doing these steps that I just advise you to do. And also listening to the radio, reading News and Slow Spanish program is so cool to actually start reading good text with a cool vocabulary, like highlighted the most important useful phrases that people use in everyday Spanish all the time, and it's so cool. So just put yourself in the atmosphere of the language you want to learn. Have it everywhere, on TV, on radio, in magazines, everything you read on the internet. You can actually switch your phone's settings. For example, if you want to learn English, you can switch all the settings to the English on your phone. Make it being around yourself in all the possible spheres and aspects of your life, and the result will be fantastic, I promise you. Tip number 6, Spanglish technique. Well, it's not only Spanglish, but I'd like to call it that way. It's like the technique of replacing words. I think it has some official theoretic name, I don't know about it, but I use it naturally. I don't know how it came to my mind, this idea. I haven't read about it in any like resources, any materials. It just like came out to me naturally. So I had a friend here, Cecilia, and she also would speak English with me. She knew English. And first of all, I started speaking English with her all the time, 100% of the time. But while I was studying Spanish, I started using more Spanish vocabulary. And you probably already get where I'm going with it, right? So more days passed, less English words I would use and more Spanish phrases I would apply. So first days it was like only I used Spanish for phrases like hola, ciao, adios, ¿cómo estás? Phrase like this. But then I used everything I learned from PIMSLEUR, Michel Thomas method, and using slow Spanish, and I have enriched my vocabulary, and I would like speak more and more and more with my target language that I want to master. And it took me 3 months, I guess, yeah. In 3 months, I almost didn't use any English word. So, it's so cool. It's gonna work like, I don't know, you want to say, let's go to the restaurant together. In Spanish, it's gonna be, vamos al restaurante juntos. But let's say you don't know some words. You know only the word restaurant, restaurante, and you say, let's go al restaurante together. Then, time passes, you say, let's go al restaurante juntos. And then, some more time passes, vamos al restaurante juntos. So you replace each and every single day. It's like a little example, but it's so cool. I guess this tip is one of the best I can give you in this video, and it helped me so much, because by doing that, you start feeling yourself like being fluent from the very first day. Because what's fluent? Fluent is like when you have this flow of speech, and doesn't matter if you even speak Spanglish. It's like you speak 2 languages at the same time. The flow stays, and you get this confidence, incredible confidence that everything is possible, that you're capable of so many things in this world. And guys, really, this is not a standard video on this channel, but I wanted to show this knowledge, this information with my experience, 3 years of my experience living in a foreign country. I speak from my heart, I know what I'm saying, and trust me, it's possible. If you think you're like not capable of doing something, if you think you're like behind of somebody else, it's not like that, and you are special. All of you guys who are watching this video now, and actually thank you for spending your time with me. And by the way, if you're not subscribed to this channel, you can always do so. Hit thumbs up, like this channel, and here it's like my digital diary, where I show you this beautiful country, Chile, through my eyes, with my vision, and sometimes talk about life and show you these beautiful short movies capturing the beauty of this life. And beauty can be found in different forms, language including, studying foreign language. So everything is in your hands. And what I want you really to grasp from today's lesson, you might call it, from today's video, that you are capable of everything you want, of like anything is possible. And it's so cool. Love you all, guys. Thank you for watching this video. I hope it was interesting, and I'm gonna be seeing you, I guess, next week, the next video. And thank you for being here. I hope this information was really useful to you, the way it was useful to me. Thank you. Love you all, and I'll see you. Bye.